Are Have you ever considered becoming your best version and asking yourself what is the secret key? What is the fastest way to achieve all of that? Today, we are exactly going to decode all of that one step at a time. And the secret key that I'm going to introduce you to is personal development. So it was again back in 2018-ish when I got my, wait, it was around 2016 or 17, 2016 end somewhere. So the Geo revolution, the internet revolution came into India through this company called Geo, where they were offering us free SIM cards, which you can use to get 1 GB of internet per day. Before that, I was recharging 27 rupees, 300 MB data for the entire month. It was crazy. So when we got that, I didn't have friends across school. I didn't have that many friends across college. Obviously, formality wise, I was talking to everyone in college, but never really had that friends, wala friends as such. So I said to myself, what do I need to really do to find friends? And I went and I asked Google. I asked in YouTube. I also asked this question, what does one need to do to become successful? And I was introduced to a TED talk by Tony Robbins, 27 minutes, and that blew my mind. The power of decisions, state asking questions, how he read more than 700 books in less than 2 years and created systems, started noticing patterns, and inspired a revolution which took off. Even before him, there were personal development trainers and people were conducting seminars, but the way he literally revolutionized it was out of this world for me. And that's the day I said to myself, yeah, someday I'm going to be the next Tony Robbins for sure. So the initial thing to do was definitely to start working on yourself. And obviously his programs were very, very expensive. So couldn't really afford it back then. And that's the truth. But thanks to the internet, you can get all the information in this world. If you know the right places, you can download the books of some of the greatest authors on the planet, and then read them. Today's episode, I'm going to decode step by step what happens when you integrate personal development as a part of your daily life and how that shape shifts your communication, how people start perceiving you. And I'm going to give you examples from my life, exact stories, exact references, which you can use. And again, you can test that out for your life as well. Then see to it how you can make the most of it. And we'll take it one step at a time to make sure that we don't get too overwhelmed. For this, I really just had to make a very, very simple form of a structure, which I will be sharing with you. And again, if you're new here, please do hit that follow button, hit the bell icon. If you're watching from YouTube, hit the subscribe button. There are a lot of details that's given below. Sign up for my newsletter where you'll get all the notes. I'm going to start writing very, very soon. The whole plan is in progress. We've just ended in the month of November. So from December, we're going to kickstart everything. And from December, our cohort is also starting in. So if you really want to master all the skills that we are discussing in all our lives, whether it's Yogeshwari's life or my lives, you can actually learn all of that. What took us 7.5 8 years to learn, we will literally make you do that, implement that. It's not just train you, make you do it in 30 days, and then you can start witnessing those changes in your life as well. So with that, let's get started. I'll grab a sip of water. Now, here's what happened before personal development. The first thing was my inner state, and these were points beautifully given. So every time I want to talk with someone, I was overthinking. There was always this fear of making any mistake. I was letting go of opportunities to speak in front of people. I was always seeking some form of validation. Back then, I had a girlfriend, and every single time I wanted to do something new, I was always seeking validation from her. And then there was way too much of confusion without any proper clarity in the way I was constructing my words and delivering. And that led to so many disagreements, miscommunications, communication gaps, perspective differences, even fights to some extent. There were people who, the moment I realized that they were not aligned to what I was trying to say, or they were not able to understand me, I would completely distance myself from them. So much that I would just blatantly ignore them. And that's not a good thing to do. The And that was what was happening inside. The outer communication, I was either talking way too fast or too less. Mind you, in Bangalore, I was speaking either in Hindi or in English, which is completely different to my native tongue, my mother tongue, which is Bengali. So there was a humongous source of language barrier as well. I was apologizing far too much. I realized that there was too much of unnecessary explanations. I was I wanted to speak one point and then I was explaining the explanation. There was too much of resistance to say no. The point of people pleasing just to fit in, doing every single thing that I was told. To such an extent, when my seniors asked me, will you like to join us for a drink? Even though I'm completely against smoking or alcohol, I did try a puff and I did try a couple of beers. Now, of course, I did that just once and that was it. And the worst part was whenever I was trying to share something, the message just did not portray out exactly the way I would have wanted it to. Everything felt way too scattered. Now, the other person was able to feel it, I was able to feel it. That's what happened. And then, how the world saw me, that's the third aspect. This person is sweet, but he's not confident. Suryadeep, you're very, very hardworking, but you have to start taking some leadership. Even when I took leadership, responsibilities of certain things, for example, collecting the amount from a group of people so that we can order the book at a cost price from the library. But people gave me the names, but they were not ready to give me the money. So I had to pay money from my pocket to the librarian and then struggling to take the money from them. You're a good person, but you're not leadership ready. You cannot be trusted in leadership roles in college. Overlooked in opportunities. People listen, but they don't really follow. This was what was happening with me. Then the journey started. The only book that I ever purchased was The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. I'd read a lot, I'd watched the movie, and I realized if I have the book with me, I can actually follow the teachings. Once I got the book, of course, all the other books, it was not like I was not reading. It was, I just had uh, the ebooks of it downloaded and I was reading from my phone. But that was a physical copy that I had. Now, as I started reading, I realized the laws of human nature, the laws that govern our life. Just like there is a law of gravity, whatever is being thrown up has to come down. There are certain laws of the universe also. All we have to do is align our mind, body, and spirit towards those laws. And if we do that long enough, you will be the results, which might not be evident right now, but it will slowly get compounded. Now, that I read back in 2018, 2019. Today is 2025. If I just have to look at the gaps where that law worked into fruition, Yogeshwari helped me understand that perfectly. The fact that I was speaking every single day for close to 6 months, on the eighth month when I launched a webinar, 32 people decided to show up, out of which 11 people purchased whatever I had to offer in the webinar. And I made 25,000, which is the average month's salary of a fresher. I made that in less than 90 minutes. Now, it might look like, oh, Suryadeep, you got really lucky. But what people do not see is the 6 months of efforts that was put where I was speaking for close to 5 to 7 minutes, 3 times a day. That's almost what I think, if you consider the average of 5 minutes. So, two 5 minute videos, one 2 minute videos. So, that's around 12 minutes, 12 to 15 minutes per day. I was speaking on a public speaking group on Facebook. People in the group were watching the videos, just like right now, how you are watching these videos. It didn't really happen overnight. It took that time of efforts. Now, while I was speaking, please note that I was reading books, I was learning, I was watching training videos, I was updating, attending sessions, all of these things I was doing. As that happened, the so we'll come to the next phase of this session, which is during personal development, what all happened. The first is the inner shifts. So the first and foremost step was I started noticing my patterns, started questioning my patterns. What are the things that I'm doing which is holding me back? What are the things I need to do in order to become a better version of myself? How can I create habits that make me the best in the planet? Second thing is I started noticing little triggers that emotionally broke me down. What were the words that people were saying that hurt me? What were the moments during the day when I was at my peak productive state? As I started speaking and listening to other people speak, the pace, the tone, the energy in which people talk, and how that plays a role in the way we feel, and it's always thoughts, words, and actions, isn't it? So when you feel and you're able to speak to yourself in a certain manner, you're able to take actions, and it's far easier to do so. The fourth was the process of journaling, lot of introspection and self-talk. So I would, to this day, I still have this habit when I'm taking bath or I'm all alone. I try to just talk to myself. Ladies and gentlemen, today let's welcome Dr. Suryadeep Mazumdar with the honorary Nobel Prize, the Nobel Peace Prize. Suryadeep, how does it feel to be the the next Indian to win this award? It feels really amazing, and it's just an out of this world feeling. The enormous amount of work that we've done over the last couple of years, the hard work. It just feels like finally the rewards are starting to pour in. I would do these kind of interviews with myself again, just no context, no agenda, but just thinking that I have already achieved wherever I want to go. And this would create a ripple effect deep inside. And soon confidence would the confidence that I wanted to exude outside towards people would soon begin to happen within. I started feeling more confident whenever I was given an opportunity to speak. Of course, I did have a lot of help. My God, whether it's my Guru Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba, the Satya Sai Seva organizations, Karnataka, the there was his brother. His name is Suman Meka. He was the district youth coordinator of South Bangalore. Right now, he's the convener of uh, Sai Gitanjali in South Bangalore. There was help literally given, and that's the power of personal development. When you start the journey, you will know that you will get the right pieces reaching to you. All you have to do is ask. The second was the communication practice. So every single time I speak, irrespective of the language, I can speak three languages completely fluently, including the accent. And that's something that I always wanted. Now, there are other languages also, for example, like Hindi, English, and Bengali. These are the three languages I can speak, read, write fluently. I don't face any challenges as such. Tamil, I can speak little broken. Kannada, I can speak little broken. Spanish, because I'm learning through Duolingo, I can understand, and I can listen. I can speak little, broken. The logic here is whenever you're learning a new language, you have to start speaking slowly, setting the intentions first. What I started doing is instead of instead of thinking what I'm going to speak and then translate it from my comfort language, which is Bengali, translate it to English and then speak. That's the worst thing that you can do. Although initially you might have to do that if you're completely new. But if you try to frame the sentences one step at a time, people will begin to understand. And if people begins to understand, you soon realize that all you need to do is continue speaking more, and that becomes your practice. That's how my brother and I became so fluent because mummy told us, I want you both to start speaking in English with each other. We learned this from our cousins. They always will speak with each other in English so that their fluency improves. We learned it from them and we started implementing in our lives. And that's it, our fluency improved to such an extent where every time I speak, people are like, well, are you really from India? It's 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 not something that I should be proud of. It's just that we start listening to all these different accents all across the world, whether it's American, Australian, the sports commentaries and all. You simply start modeling and mimicking the same, understanding what works for you and just implementing that. All right. The next is once the speaking slowly and intentionally began, the next was structuring the thoughts in that specific language and sharing, expressing the words the way it is supposed to be expressed in a clear manner. Now, English is the language that I consciously chose because this is a language where I felt that it's the perfect foundation for us. Let's face it, irrespective of where you're watching this video from, at least I was born in Kolkata. And in Kolkata, we speak Bengali. Bengali is a language which we struggled to learn, struggled to such an extent where I went to the principal with a diary with a note that said, if given an option, the ICSC, the Indian School Certificate Examination Commission, gives us the permission that we need not have second language as a part of our 6 subjects in 11th and 12th. So I would like to drop second language. She said our school doesn't have that option. It's crazy because Bengali, for that matter, any regional language in India, there are way too many alphabets and letters and phonetics and grammar and so many different things. And then there is obviously the one Bengali that we use colloquially, that is the usual way of speaking. And then there is a Bengali which is the actual traditional Bengali, which you try to speak, your teeth are going to fall off. It's that difficult. So I realize that even if I try to speak in that language, it's very difficult to process. But when I shifted to English, English has these very simple elements, descriptive words in the form of adjectives. You have emotions, different emotions, categorized as different words. And if you try to organize your thoughts in such a manner and you read more, it becomes easy for you to adapt towards those languages. And if you mastered one language, you can actually use the same format with the other languages as well. It allows you to think in that language. So that's the way I started expressing clearly. Giving and receiving feedback obviously improves, which we were doing in the public speaking group. And the best part was, for the first time in my life, I started hearing myself much better, more clearly. Whatever I was thinking, I was able to feel and I was able to speak. So that internal alignment was there, which felt magical. As this unfolded, here's how the world started responding. People started pausing and paying more attention to me. There were more opportunities. I was asked for opinions when I was in my internship. People realized there is something different that Suryadeep is doing. The people started trusting me a little more with responsibilities and everything. And for the first time, I felt that my presence was growing stronger. Now, will I say that I have clearly mastered personal development? No, it's an ongoing journey. And here is, I'm just going to skip the points that was mentioned in the mind map. I think it's not really relevant anymore because all we need to do is first of all start. But here's something that is super, super, supremely important to understand. Something that I discussed yesterday's live session. Today, I want to I highlight those points. I'll give you an example. Okay. From my childhood growing up, Mummy Baba used to take us to different places to visit. And I'm so blessed to have parents who, in spite of the poverty, I will not say that much my dad because he was more obsessed about how I can earn more to at least take care of the basic needs. Basic needs, the food, clothing, and shelter. That's the only thing that my dad focused about. And of course, education, that was also there. My mom, on the other hand, she made sure that we get all the little joys. Wait, even dad as well, because if I have to if I have to revisit the childhood that we've had, we went to concerts. So you look at all these big shows, bands. Chandrabindu, Chandrabindu is a very big band in Kolkata. We watched their performance. Shreya Ghoshal, Anik Dhar, Javed Ali, Sonu Nigam, Arijit Singh, uh, Anupam Roy. Okay, then Sukhwinder Singh, Mo Mohit Chauhan. Okay, all these people we have watched them perform in the form of a live concert, thanks to my dad. My mom, on the other hand, she took us to water parks. She convinced Baba to take us to the malls. All these different places that these upper economic status people would go and enjoy. To such an extent where when we were in class 9 and 10, that was when we had our first ever flight experience. Even though things happened slowly, but things did happen. So during those mall visits, we would go to this place called a time zone, which is the game zone in every mall. But each of the games used to be so damn expensive. It's like just to play for 60 seconds, you have to give $1. $1 per game. And we never got the opportunity. So since then, since my childhood days, I remember I was in class 3, my age was 8 years old. I used to wait and pray, when am I going to get the opportunity to play in the time zone? That opportunity unfolded this year during my birthday as a birthday gift. I think back then I had the opportunity to meet Yogeshwari in person, and she decided to gift me a time zone visit. We went to a time zone exactly at 11 o'clock when it opens. We played all the way till 5:30, 6 o'clock in the evening. Time just flew because of all the games. Now that is something that I really enjoyed a lot. But on the other hand, a couple of weeks back, I went for a retreat. In the retreat, we were given certain tasks. Tasks like discussions, which I enjoy. Tasks like inner reflection and writing, which I also enjoy. Tasks like meditation, which I don't enjoy. 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 60 minutes, 1.5 hours, meditations. something I don't enjoy. And what is even more amazing is, of course, there I was told that you got to be a part of the retreat. You have to do whatever is being told. You have to trust the system. And I did. But after I came back, began to realize, if I don't really enjoy something, is it worth doing? Because anyways, you can force yourself only to a certain extent to certain practices. Maybe it's not about whether the system is right for you or not. Maybe you just need to follow what you enjoy the most. And that's where I want to stop this live today. I want you to start making a list of the things that you enjoy. Now, if it's videos that you enjoy watching, maybe you can watch my videos. You don't have to read a book. Maybe you just have to watch book reviews or listen to audiobooks. Like yesterday only, Yogeshwari was telling me she enjoys reading a book and making notes. That's the way that she prefers learning. The way that I prefer learning is total immersion. I have a book in front of me, or I have a laptop in front of me where I'm taking notes. At the same time, I'm reading. So split screen and then I'm reading. The way that I prefer learning is I get into immersion zone. So I watch, sit down with the training videos to watch so that I can make notes and I can create that entire modules, thinking how I will be able to implement things. It's crazy how fascinating the personal development journey works when you decide what's right for you. But let me give you this disclaimer right now itself. You will be thrown, tossed, bounced from one place to another by one coach or trainer or the other, telling you that this is the method that you should follow. My humble request is, don't just follow, reflect, ruminate. I do the same thing with religion. I do the same thing with spirituality. I do the same thing with personal development. I do the same thing with any form of techniques and methods. And anyone who fails to answer my questions, I simply discard them away very respectfully, disassociate myself from them very respectfully, and get into my own quest of asking questions. And now, thanks to AI, if you give enough context, AI will help you create that life for you. The personal development path, the communication path that works best for you. When I started in this whole journey, until now, there are two very important points that I learned. The personal development industry is what they tell you to do. But at the end of the day, the personal development is something that is mandatory, that's needed. However, it's needed as per your requirement, based on the challenges that you are going through, based on the goals that you want to achieve. So always put yourself as a priority. And from where you stand, decide where you need to go, because based on where you are, you will always have help available. If not anything else, you can always subscribe to my social media platforms, because every single thing that I am ever going to learn, it's all available absolutely for free. And if you feel that you want to go to the next level where you'd like to do things together, only and only then utilize those learnings, earn that money, and pay after you have got the value. This are very, very strong principles that I believe in, and I would want you to believe in the same as well. Do not pay anyone a single penny until and unless they've proven their worth to you. How? When they have told you to do something and you have done it, and only if you've gotten result, only and only then move forward. Otherwise, they might just hold you by the balls. You don't want that. With that, this is Dr. Srideep. Love you so much. Today's topic was a little deeper, a little different than what I would have wanted it to be. And that's absolutely fine. Sometimes as we go into a conversation, we realize that we need not really give more. For example, today's mind map, I kind of finished just 20%, 40% of it. There was still 60% left, but there was no need because I don't want to pound you with too much of gyan, which is unnecessary. Just want you to, I just want to help you get started. Of course, a lot of other things to share as well. With that, this is Dr. Srideep. Love you so much. See you tomorrow with another phenomenal, phenomenal episode. Take care. I want you to know that I love you so much.